Greetings everyone, here's Lodrik and this is the Game War in the Pacific Admits Edition. This is my play-by-email match against Xargun. He is Allied Commander and for me it is the Empire of Japan. This is in Area 1 on game version 26B. Overstock, no mods. I take the Hai Chang without a fight. I take it back. I gave it up at the beginning of the war. But now the Chinese also don't want to fight for it, so then I take it. There's a cargo ship. It's Ceylon, but my skipper cannot find it or sink it. These are the two cargo ships I was missing last turn. Luckily I was able to catch up again, and this is now the second night battle, and today they're not escaping. And because these are only cargo ships, they don't really have a chance. So they are more or less all both dead, and there are some troops on board. Looks like a base force, maybe a small base force. One ship is now burning, heavily damaged, somewhere open ocean. I guess it will sink. Oh, it sinks immediately. That was already a good start, but at the end it was only to fix the issue from last turn. It was a big failure of the commander to not find the ships yesterday. Good. No other clash. And this are my India Ocean carriers, second carrier division. They're detecting some allied destroyers and AMCs. So there are two British task force in range of my scout airplanes. And Xargun is detecting my heavy units. But I cannot find the target because of bad weather. That was Tahiti. Good sweeping and bombardments. No hits. Still no hits. This looks better. These are now British, Australian bombers, but yeah, this can score some hits. So this is the first airstrike against enemy troop task force. These are APs. A lot of APs, but no escort. So I was able to sink one AP directly, no, two APs going down, plus 3 are heavily damaged, burning and will sink. One AP and one destroyer escapes the first airstrike. Good. I'm here a little low on torpedoes, because I was not able to get torpedoes in Ceylon. I have no bigger size. I have only port 6, but I need normally port 7. I have no Navy support. So this is a cargo transport. And the AP, so it's a small task force, there's only 3 ships. And they are more or less all dead. The cargo ship has a torpedo hit, but well, maybe no, if it's a dud it will not count. So it was the torpedo hit with explosion, but still not heavy damage. Very strange for a cargo ship. So these are now 3-4 ships going down. Afternoon, I detect still the ships. Of course. Now the afternoon. So there's still one destroyer, but the first strike already make a magazine explosion, and this will normally kill the destroyer. It's only a question of if there's enough time, does the explosion kill the ship before the next bomb hit. And there's a big AMC. And more cargo ships. So there are many more cargo ships. The arrow go down, the AMC is more or less burning wreck, and all the rest is going down. Well, not so many ships, but this means 2 destroyers are dead for sure, plus an AMC is always good. And the second strike is going for the leftover task force here. So I take out 2 more APs. The destroyer and 1 other AP escaped. Not 100%, but I would say maybe like 90% is destroyed. Or heavily damaged. Problem is that all of the ships had no troops. Maybe supplies, but no troops. And the APs, I think, are only for troop transport. I mean, would be strange to use them for cargo shipping. Goodie. Standard bombardments. Chinese artillery against Japanese artillery. Similar situation here. The siege of Bendoing is still ongoing. And because the Dutch come out of the jungles, it kicks them out. They don't have any AV, or they could take the base, so there was I think 3 days in the base but without taking it. You can see there's really no active AV, and without active AV you cannot take a base. You can still fight with the support units but not attack. Good. So this was of course a good day. Still I would say thinking all these cargo ships, APs will hurt the Allied capacity to ship and move stuff around, but there's no real I mean 2-3 destroyers maybe, but the rest was no military equipment. So the fighting force of Xargun's Allied fleet is still intact. Good. Maybe there's some aircraft on board? No, still nothing. So there was really only cargo, supplies, fuel maybe. And I lost a long range flying boat, a torpedo bomber. 1 torpedo bomber gets hit by a flak and gets killed, and Xargun loses also a Catalina. So the 1 pilot is dead. But 1 pilot for many ships is of course always good. So the 2 destroyers are okay. A bunch of APs. There was also an AMC. Maybe it will need 1 or 2 months that they all show up here. That is a bigger AP. The AMC I think is similar size. The 2 destroyers are both British, and they are both good for sub hunting. So getting rid of them is good. At least in 42 I think the American destroyers are not so powerful, but the British are already at the start of the war good for anti-submarine. And this is a D-class destroyer, so they have bigger guns, 4.7 compared to only 4. Oh no, they have both? Oh yeah, they have both the same, okay. But there's 1 point difference, so this is a A-class and this is a D-class. D, because they start always with a D, and A-class because they name always starts with a A. But the big difference is I think the tonnage. in the equipment. Good. The rest was only bombardments all in China, so no real change on the situation. We have a block here, we have a block here, a block here, here's a block, and this will be a block. Then they have siege of these Chinese forces, but I think sooner or later Xargun will simply let them all die actively, or I must clean them up. Here's a small force I must take, but yeah, and here's also a block. Sinning, I'm waiting only for my army to arrive here, and then I can take the city. And some cavalry guys from the Mongolian army trying to catch up here, also Inner Mongolian Chinese province. So all quiet in China, more or less, not more much. I would also have not that really heavy desire to take the rest of China. If it's possible, maybe, but if I can more or less have here the border, it's the high mountains, then I would say it's fine. This will never really change more, at least not in the next 12 months. Burma is also inactive, the mountains are the border. Ceylon is waiting for my tanks and infantry and whatever to arrive and then strike again. The big show was here the carriers. So there's still one task force. It looks like the one task force was small and wiped out completely, and the second task force had 5 ships left. But I think 2 or 3 are maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're all really 5, or maybe there's 2 or 3 burning. And again, normally this information is before my second airstrike. So if these are 5 ships and I sunk 3 of them, then there are maybe only 2 left. Because you make the Navy search first, detect the task force, and then you make the strike. And I'm not so sure if it's upgrading the rest of the ships correctly after the strike. But anyway, this was a blow against the shipping, so this is simply too near to Ceylon, and I can intercept this too easy. So I guess that he must go more north, at least Bombay, maybe even go everything in Karachi. But in Karachi I have normally my submarines. I only call them back to rearm them. So you have the threat of carriers and you have the threat of submarines. But submarines can only kill 1 ship maybe. Carriers can sink a lot more. Here at Perth, I must finish here 1 force. The other one, this has a Scottish division, Highlander, trying to escape here. And I try to enter this hex and then maybe fight with them, because I don't know how much is left. This tank unit was heavily damaged. Maybe a little much for a normal Navy. How you call this? Navy Guard? Navy SEALs, whatever. So, but this is normally a soft support infantry unit, not a strike assault unit. We will see. I will also create here a cruiser formation. I don't know if I can stay here much longer, but I think I will. This is more or less the striking force, the cruisers, and this is my cover force. They will making air cover, because who knows if there's enemy carriers here. So long it's only 1 carrier, I can maybe defend. But I will more or less bring the cruiser task force, radar task force, in a position that I'm in range, or not more in range of my Navy search out of Perth. So I can go 20 hexes from Perth with my normal Navy search. So here 16, 18, 20, roughly here. The last 1 or 2 hexes are always not so, high efficiency of Navy search. More far away is simply less likely to find something. So, but I would say my search is at least okay up to this hex. So I can maybe bring my cruisers in this position, because the cruisers have Navy search airplanes later with a range of 8. So I can cover maybe here. So I can cover from the box, from here to here. Here's my position. Then this is the cruisers, and the rest will be covered by Perth. Navy search. So if then Xargun want to ship something, then he must go really at the edge of the map again. Similar to New Zealand. But New Zealand, I think, is even now impossible to ship anything there. Maybe latest if I take Wellington or Churchtown, then it's over. East coast of Australia is today only moving. I move in my next block force simply only to block the rail here. Once I am here enter, you cannot rail more. I think you can still move through the hex because he controls the hex. But the advantage is this is rough terrain. So it's hard. Once I'm in the hex, I think it's not so easy to kick me out. And I have here the regiment coming, and the regiment have more attack power, let's say this. This is elite troopers with 91. So this guy is really know how to fight. And if I can first take the dot base, then the rail is completely blocked. And then I hope to reach this hex. I don't know. There are a lot of units here, if I can catch them. There's also some equipment still to take on. These are also only tanks. Goodie. New Zealand is still waiting that I can attack Wellington. And I also prepare a new South New Zealand Island task force going for this base first, and then maybe take them all from the South side, more far away from his air power. There's some aircraft here, not many, but well. So this is why I have here always my amphibious assault group plus a cover force. So I always cover against airstrikes. Because if you see many other games, invasion fleets, they always have no air cover. And I don't really like too much long range cap. That is possible if you are really close to your own base, but not this far away actions. So this is why I more or less have only one invasion fleet or two invasion fleets, but I cover them. Close cover, air cover, and maybe even heavy cover. Then I know if there's an enemy task force coming, it's unlikely that I will be surprised. It's still possible, but less likely. And I don't want to risk. It's April, I don't have much to risk. Why I want to risk here something? I take only South Island of New Zealand, then it's fine. Goodie, and of course more stuff is coming in and out of New Zealand. And the same with Nomaya. And logistic is always, of course, not so easy, especially if you are Japan and you operate here at Tahiti. That is not easy. Last action we will maybe see is this, I think this is light cruiser destroyer formation. I would normally wipe them out. So I have here a smaller task force. This is normally reinforcements for this one. And that guy is of course much more powerful. So I hope I can get a night engagement and then sink them. Or at least I must not even sink them, I must only damage them. Even a little damage is here far away out of Tahiti. I think hard for the allies to repair. I don't know how many repair ships allies have, but if he must escape to Tahiti, not Haiti, then this is in range of my, I could use maybe bombers, or I can shell the island simply. And the really last action of the day was here at Hawaii. This formation was able to find today or tonight the enemy and sink them. But I consume half of my heavy ammunition and my torpedoes. So it is really time to retreat now. I was not able to find something here east of Hawaii, but I think now it's time to go home. Fuel is looking not more so nicely, and Xargun know exactly what is here, and I cannot wait here 3 more days that he's coming maybe out, or he's not coming out and I burn too much fuel. Goodie, and see you next time. Take care. Bye bye.